What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? The day you've been waiting for is finally here. The market module is going up for a vote. Let's talk about it. There's a lot to unpack here. We're going to go through the proposal, and then I'm going to encourage you to look around, start to see how people are voting. Decide what you think. Decide how people are voting. Watch how they do it, and then decide for yourself whether or not you are validating with the right validators that are going to propel Terra Luna Classic forward, or are you cutting your own throat? And I think that the market module is going to be a perfect example in the voting process of that situation. It's my opinion, so make sure you hit the like button on the way in. It's a big day. Let's go. Before we get started, make sure that you sign up at terracasino.io for all your risk-based gaming needs or sports wagering. Great place to go. And make sure that you're trading your meme coins on Terraport.finance. Your utility coins, where would you go there? Oh yeah, Terraport.finance, because everything that you want in the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem is available for you on Terraport.finance today, including but not limited to the Believe meme coin. Wouldn't that be nice? By the way, I want to say appreciate all of you guys that helped to unbond it, get it out into the wild. We'll see if we do something with it at some point in the future. It's out there. It's already ready to go. I already hold a pretty good supply of it, and maybe we'll just see what happens. All right, guys, Vegas just made a post about an hour ago. The revival is here. The long-awaited proposal to reactivate the market module is now in the deposit phase. This is the key to restoring the heart of Luna Classic, and we're going to break this down. We're going to look at it. We're going to see exactly what it is, and we're going to do that right now. All right, so this is a net deflation engine that can open without hyperminting, throttles itself as supply shrinks, and cannot be trick printed through stale prices. Okay, now here's what we're talking about. A net deflation engine that can open without hyperminting, throttle itself as supply shrink, cannot be tricked through stale process. This is based on the original Terra Classic market module and then the 2.0 draft, but incorporates a mechanism to avoid the mint burn, which caused concerns among several community members. Now, to understand, when the Luna chain launched, the market module was integrated, it was in it to begin with back in April of 2019, and what it did was when you bought some Terra or you bought some Luna, there was a mint process, and then when you sold, then that mint process was also used as a burn process along the way. Now, that was a mint, I believe, on Terra, and Luna Classic would mint a little bit in order to protect the stable. So it was available, but you guys know everything went wrong. But the idea behind it was that, you would mint, say, 10,000 Terra. When you sold that 10,000 Terra back to the pool, some of the funds were then used for a small burn on Terra Luna Classic, while at the same time burning itself out of the Terra ecosystem. So that was, a good thing. And it eventually comes out that Jump Crypto Trading in May of 2021 helped to retain the peg. Duquan, it was a little bit, he was a little bit misguided in how he presented it. And a year later, they dumped on us and caused this death spiral. Okay. Now, some of you might say that, well, we don't know exactly who that was. Yeah, we do. We know exactly who it was. We know it was Kanav Korea. And by the way, to this day, Kanav Korea, gone. Has disappeared off the face of the earth. Quit Jump Crypto last June. We have not seen him in over a year. And I mean not posted on Twitter, not posted on social media. He has disappeared. What did he do? What does he know? And by the way, Jump Crypto Trading is now under federal investigation. So now, unlimited capacity kills, raising base pool and shortening pool recovery period lets traders mint faster than the market absorbed, destroying lunk. Okay, so that's what was going on right there. And then valuing UST at $1 while it traded at pennies forced hyperinflation. So how the market module historically minted. Here we go. This is the base pool. It tells you exactly how it worked, and then it tells you what the refill timer was to give you an idea of how that works. This is for you to go over and for you to read. And then the non-minting approach is going to be currently the tax on-chain is split 10% to the community pool, 10% to the Oracle, and 80% to burn. To avoid any minting of tokens, it is proposed to redirect 60% to a temporary market module liquidity pool. While this reduces the immediate burn from the tax to 20%, the additional burns will still happen each 30-day epoch at the first block of every 30-day epoch for each token separately. So you're going to get an immediate burn of 20% on each transaction, and then a later burn 30-day for every 30-day epoch. This is the equivalent of 75% of the last month's tax burn for each token. Instead of using minting and burning, then swapping through the market module, tokens are just taken from and added to this pool. At the start of the next 30-day epoch, all remainders in the pool are burnt. Now, there's the adaptive phase here. We want burst when volatility spikes, but we must still fit under the monthly allowance. The default is F equals 0.07. At most, 10% of the current liquidity pool balance can be used in a single day. So we're putting limits on it. So to understand, instead of wild, crazy trade volume, that there's only so much that's allowed to be sold at any given period of time, right? And then once that was filled up and the liquidity was exiting the liquidity pool for Terra, which is exactly how this happened. It is to be understood that an investor reached out to Do Kwon about buying Bitcoin in order to stabilize the Terra price, because that would be better for it than having that actual cash on hand. This was a move to secure the future of Terra, and as soon as he pulled the liquidity, that's when Jump Crypto's Trading started massively selling everything that they had on the open market. They could have done OTC. They could have done it without it impacting anything or anybody. Don't forget that. And then what happened was they had shorted the market, and they were making money off shorting Terra. And that's how that broke down. So these are the pieces. Now, I'm going to encourage you to go through and read this. Decide for yourself. Look at the way that this is happening here. Decide for yourself if this is what you think is the right thing, okay? The risk of hyperinflation is mitigated. These are the risks. These are the important things right here. The risk of hyperinflation is mitigated by using only funds redirected to a distinct pool from the tax proceeds. This leaves the minting disabled. The main risks of this implementation are reduced burns of either LUNC or USTC in case the swapping is only used very rarely and one-sided, or community disappointment to unmet expectations. Now, folks, this ban is only following 1,171 accounts, and guess what? Doge Inu is one of them. That's right. Elon Musk is following Doge Inu. This is a massive opportunity for this crypto project. There is a pre-sale launching. I'm going to put the links down below so that you can check it out, but not just Elon Musk. Let's go down the list. You've got John Cena. You've got LeBron King James, who's following it. You've got my man, Jacob Fatu. If you guys know who that is, that's WWE wrestling legend at this point. There's a lot going on here for Doge altcoin. Folks, Doge Inu is a throwback to simpler times when the internet was in its infancy. This is the official site. The tokenomics are right down here. Check this out as you need. You can buy right away. There it is right now, raised $847,000 so far for this pre-sale. This is going to be a massive one. You guys know that the bull run is here. Listen, this is the insane parabolic levels that Dogecoin reached, going up as high as 75 billion market cap. And don't forget Shiba Inu with a $53 billion market cap. Dogs, Dogecoins, these are the things that people love. Guys, you're early. You've got the edge. It's your opportunity to get in on something that could be groundbreaking. This could be your next million X crypto gem. Buy it in the link in the description down below. This can change over time. What we need to do is get it implemented in the beginning so that it worked, because then there's a reason for people to come back onto the chain and to start not just building here, but trading on this chain. And don't forget, we still have USTD that's out there that could be part of it. Now, I asked the question and was told during the spaces that it would have to be an IBC item, which I don't know if I don't know exactly what Redline Drifter's plan is for this right now and how that will work. But here's the questions and answers, and I guess USTD is not on the list. So they're not really addressing USTD until it's time to address the USTD stablecoin in there. And to be fair, like what I think would happen here is I think you would have a basket over here of Luna Classic, you would have a basket over here of USTC, and then in the middle you would have USTD, and you could just swap in between each and every one of them, and then the module would allow for some of the burns. The USTD would just become your stablecoin for now, until maybe USTC could become one at some point in the future. But we are so far away from that moment that, you know, we have to look at it from this standpoint. What we're looking to do, or what the ultimate goal would be on USTC, would be to repeg it back to $1. But, and that's a mighty big but, we have a market cap of 80 million. We have a supply of 6 billion. It is so far out of whack. 5.59 billion is the circulating supply. So we are so far out of whack in prices that if we burned 5 billion tokens right now, we could get to 10 cents. That's how deep we are right now. So market cap at 79 million. And look, if we go through a bull run and it triples or quadruples or quintuple, if we go up to 500 million market cap and then we burn 5 billion, then we'd be talking about $1. But it would take a very surmountable sort of swell of support in one direction to get us even close to it, and a ridiculous amount of burning, which I don't think is viable at this point. So put a pin in this for later. Remember, USTC is a long-term plan right now. And then if you're holding, you know, let's just say that you're holding right now, you know, 1 million USTC. You know, there's a chance that you're going to get a really nice run. Back to $1, I don't know. Also, Terra Luna Classic, what is it doing right now? Remember, 5.6 trillion. Now, when the market module really jumped at us, there were 1 billion Luna tokens by the time it broke down in May of 2022, which was basically 2 years, a little over 2 years. There were only 343 million tokens left. It had burned 66.7% of the supply. So this is a long process that will go on. A lot more trading on the chain is going to make a big difference. And why would people be trading on chain? Well, Juris protocol, the lender, comes into play here. It's going to give people rewards and incentives. And I mean, what more could you ask for than to be rewarded, to be able to borrow, to be able to lend your crypto out in a safe environment? And that's how Terra and Luna really kind of exploded the last time. Now, again, I do want to temper that and say that the interest rates are going to be different. It's not going to be 20% again. There's just no way. It's unsustainable. And we know that it's unsustainable because here we are. So I suspect that we're going to see a very interesting sort of thing. It'll be muted a little bit, but it's going to entice people to come over. And let's face it, the interest rate right now at 4.5%, 4.3%, for holding your USDC on Coinbase is nice, but it's along the same lines as your 10-year bond yields. And I think people are going to be looking for something a little bit more. And if they get a sense of comfort with Juris protocol and it gets anywhere close or above that range of 4.5%, then guess what? You're going to see a flight to Luna Classic. You're going to see a move that brings people into this chain, and then you're going to start to see some real building. There's a lot of ifs involved, but those are the ifs. So watch for perhaps something to happen over the next little while, and you know, maybe, just maybe, we'll see a big move. Now, there was an article in the in Coin, the Daily Coin, and it's really is Terra Luna Classic really pushing USTC back to $1? Ceramics developers are moving along with their plan to restore USTC's original $1 peg, but this involves a new token, and that is USTR. Okay, and this is Leonardo. This is a forecast compiled for long buyback and burn, and this is USTR. And what you would do is USTC repegged to $1, slated for the last quarter of 2025. Ceramics official GitHub confirmed working on the project, but the exact completion date isn't known for the public yet. However, the USTC repeg will rely heavily on the conversion to USTR while the developer emphasized that this direction was not made through choice. Moreover, Ceramic devs released the full version of their signature USTC replan on X. The community developer team claims to be a 50% liberal and 50% scientific background, focusing on social science in their white paper. In one of the latest updates, the developer explained that the Terra Luna Classic chain should be coordinated with the ecosystem's internal projects, such as Juris and Selenium, to set correct post-swap USTC interest rates. Ultimately, the Repeg stablecoin would be renamed back to UST and employed as a standard unit of account across the Cosmos ecosystem. All right, now, due to the division among LUNC community members, this USTC Repeg could drag out onto the next year. The embattled L1 chain's adoption rate has shrunk considerably since 2022. Collective community efforts to restore key parts of the battle-scarred Terra Classic chain have led to some results like the LUNC portal revamp. However, for that to reflect on the altcoin's price, demand should be consistent with the trading volume. Now, trading volume right now around 10 million, not enough. We're not burning nearly enough. We're not moving nearly enough. So there are constraints, but listen, we're going into the most bullish phase, so there's a real possibility to attract quite a few eyes paying attention to Terra Luna Classic. So that's what we're looking to see happen. We've got the request up here right now, the USTC staking system. We've got the request up here for the SDK WASM upgrade, and we've got the burn to earn future redemption program and burn LUNC with synthetic token. Burning is all the rage right now. So a lot is being done about burns. So we'll see how this all plays out over the next couple of months. Meme coin prices kind of moving, not a lot, but you can see Juris still having another nice run. I think Juris kind of trading at or near an all-time high. When we start to zoom out and get this on the daily, which is a little easier to read, and you can see right there that we are not exactly at the all-time high, but we are very, very close from that last big move to the all-time high. So we're in a place that we've not been in quite a while. We're above where we were when the market really started to move. This was, again, remember, November, December of last year. We're up above that in position. So what do I think? And by the way, somebody asked me what is my prediction for Juris Protocol going into this bull run. And for that, we really need to kind of step out here and say, well, first of all, let's figure out where we are. We're at 3.4, let's call it 3.9, I mean. We're at 4 million market cap. What is the value of a module here that you can borrow and lend from? And I gotta say, I gotta be honest with you guys, despite the fact that the market doesn't really absorb a whole lot of Terra Luna Classic at this point, market cap somewhere near 300 million, what I think is going to happen is I think that we're going to go up into that 12 billion range again. I think we're going to start to see a little volume moving. So we then have to look at this on a, kind of a parabolic sort of curve. At best, I can give you a prediction here of, reasonable prediction here. It's going to be from the original move, the original top over here to the bottom on that pivot right there. And then say that, this is really kind of playing out exactly how I would tell you or you would suspect that it's going to play out. So, we can look at it from that context, and then we can come up with an idea that maybe, 404 is going to be the spot. We're at 401 right now. That's a 4x. So that means about a 12 to 14 million market cap. Well, I don't think that's real. I think that what we're looking at here is ultimately somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 million market cap. So I think that, I think that we're looking at a nice opportunity for a move. So if you don't have a bag, it is my opinion that Juris Protocol right now, easy 25x. When we get to, when we get to the bullish phase of this market, remember, it's currently paired with Terra Luna Classic. So when Terra Luna Classic goes up 40x, if it goes up 40x like I'm telling you, then Juris is going to go up 20x because 50% of its price is based on Terra Luna Classic. So I'm making it easy for you at that level. If Luna Classic catches fire, Juris catches fire, everything catches fire. So then we have to start talking about how much further can it go. So we say 25x as a simple move, but more like 50x if we really get the quote-unquote win behind our sails. Because if we're at 12 billion on Terra Luna Classic, then it should be easy and a no-brainer to say that we're going to go to 200 million on Juris protocol. Now, if that is the case, then we should also just kind of look at it and say, well, what's the real value of being that big time lender? And that puts me in the 500 million range. That's $500 million. So we're really talking about 120x from where we are right now, 125x as a potential top. A lot of things would have to happen for that to play out, but Juris protocol probably, and Selenium, by the way, those are probably going to be some very, very, very important components to this ecosystem. So, and if it takes off, again, they all take off. So I'm going to be watching this every single day, waiting for that next just gigantic big move. Okay, because I feel like we're probably in that spot right now where we could see an enormous takeoff. Now let's talk about the validators right now. Everything is in the red. You can see some movement here. Like, for example, Jesus is Lord loses 3 billion. Jesus is Lord 2 gains 3 billion. That looks like maybe just a move from one to the other to, I don't know, increase voting power, change voting power. Somebody just moving it, or it could be somebody took it out and somebody actually put more in somewhere over here. So, the numbers could just be normal for no reason whatsoever. But down 16 billion, up 79 million. Again, that's kind of a transfer. Juris protocol up 2.4 billion. But we're seeing, again, we're seeing this bleed. We're seeing this bleed. We're seeing this bleed. We're seeing this bleed. Now, two things. Number one, people could be ready to sell. Number two, people could be ready to delegate with somebody else. They're waiting for an unbonding period and they want to start trading and flipping. Again, I'm giving you kind of a list here of reasons why people are doing that. To remember here, ninja mode here, they're not losing a whole bunch, but where is it? Right here, 61. Vegas node lost 61 billion, but nobody gained anywhere close to, if you total the whole thing up, 61 billion. So something is going on. Now, could they be putting it into another protocol? For example, could Vegas's 61 billion that was in here before, could that be going into Juris protocol? Could be. Could that be going into something else? Could that be getting ready for the market module to make sure that it works? There's any number of different things that could be happening right there. So there's no reason to panic, in my opinion, but we should be, we should at least pay attention when we see stuff like this happening. We've unstaked a lot of Terra Luna Classic over the last bit. Now, this is where it really gets interesting. Remember, on July 11, we had 1 trillion Luna Classic staked. Today, we have 870. That is a giant amount. So, bear that in mind. This is a significant portion that's being unstaked. And to be fair here, if we go to July 14, that's where we got just a huge amount, 100 billion unstaked at one point. That was on July 14. Today is July 25, so we're talking 11 days. So in 10 more days, we might see what their intentions are with those tokens. We might have a much clearer understanding of what's going on at that point. Maybe, just maybe, there's going to be some movement to burn. Speaking of burns, yesterday, after not having a really good day, we ended up with 87 million in burn. If we could get 87 million in burn today, it would not be enough, but it would be better than what we've been doing, which is not even close to that. So, something happened yesterday, caused a little bit of a burn. We're still, again, burning a little bit more USTC than we have been burning before. It's not significant. I'm not tooting a horn, if you will. I'd like to see 200,000 burned every day, just so we could see it like a ticker coming off. To give you guys an idea, like, on a bad day, 200,000, on a good day, 500,000. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of volume and burn process that I would love to see happening here. But, that's just conversation for a different time. Total 300 million, and that is it, guys. Check out what is going on with that market module 2.0. That's the important part, and this is not financial advice, but I'm always right.